Good day, great day, and welcome to Community Media Advocacy Day in Albany, where people from across our great Empire State are standing together to protect community voices. And we have community media centers from all across our New York State assembled here in this magnificent Capitol building. We're raising awareness about the important work of protecting community voices and providing access to our neighbors all across the land through experiential learning and media education, through channels that represent the diversity of our communities. Everywhere you go across this state, represented here are media leaders that are providing public services in the form of vital, ultra-local programming, speaking to individual communities. What we do here is community building through media. And at Community Media Advocacy Day, we have partners across this great state. And I'm going to start by introducing, from the beautiful borough of Dreams, Queens, QPTV, Roz Nieves.
So I have a quick poem, if I may. I would like to read a poem entitled, "When I Think of Community Media Centers Throughout New York State," and it goes like this. When I think of community media centers, I too think about content that is created by individuals at access centers that began well over 36 years ago. When I think of community media centers, I think of hyperlocal content and original programming, public access, the first original social media. When I think of community media centers, I think of people sharing ideas and a vision that tells their story that needs to be told by them. When I think of community media centers, I think of thousands upon thousands of training programs throughout the state in digital literacy that inspires people to be creative in how they want to tell their story. When I think of community media, I think of new buildings, new technology, new jobs that are the result of building bridges with voices in the community. When I think of community media centers, I think of hundreds of thousands of producers that have come through New York access centers over the years to watch their vision be shown around the world. And when I think of community media centers, I think of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Roz and Queens. Let's give a round of applause for our community media makers from New York City and from everywhere in this great state. Downstate and upstate is represented here today. We have great leaders at BronxNet as well. These are future media leaders, students from the Bronx. Experiential learning happens in the studios of BronxNet. We have 3 beautiful studios where we provide workforce training for the public, experiential learning for youth, that's very much career building experience, and we're producing programs by, for, and about the Bronx. And every community media center here is doing the same thing. In an era of media consolidation, we need to protect community voices. And that's why we're here today. And standing strong with us is one of our co-sponsors of the Community Media Reinvestment Act in the New York State Assembly. She's a dynamic leader and fighter for working families in the Bronx. She is Assembly Member Udelka Tapia.
Okay, are we ready to pass this bill? Yes, we are. Yes, we're ready to pass this bill. I am Assembly Member Udelka Tapia, and I represent the 86th Assembly District in the Boogie Down Bronx. Proud to represent and proud to be part of the BronxNet that is also in the Boogie Down Bronx. Thank you, Michael, for all the advocacy that you have done in these last 5 months. Believe it or not, he's been here every week fighting for the community media centers that we need so much in our communities. And I appreciate that to the moon, because we need that type of advocacy so we don't forget exactly what does it mean to our communities in all our boroughs. And what does it mean? Bringing to the people and teaching our young people exactly how they're going to do it in the future. This legislation taxes traditional streaming services like Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, DirecTV, or satellite TV, and uses the monies collected from these billion-dollar companies. These companies are making billions of dollars, guys, and our communities, our community media centers need some type of money that actually is gonna make sure that we continue moving forward with things. This legislation will ensure that as video programming BOH expand and migrates from traditional cable services to satellite and video streaming, because that's what we do. We no longer go to the movies, guys. We sit down home and just close the door in the room and we start watching everything in there and changing the channel only. So, and they making billions of dollars from that. That migration does not result that migration does not result in reduced support for our investment in local programming responsive to the unique needs and interests of New Yorkers, including public education or governmental access television programming. As gathered from the research directed by A1CAM, taxing digital media goods and services would generate at least $250 million a year that it would allow our community media centers to be funded and do the right thing to our communities. So that's the reason why I'm here as a co-sponsor of that bill. I am making every single effort that we can do. I will never do as much as this guy. but I'm doing exactly what is needed to do so we can pass that bill and these streaming companies no longer can have all the benefits and our community continues suffering. Thank you to the Brooklyn, Manhattan, Staten Island, all the community media centers that are here advocating for this, that we need, that our black and brown communities and everybody in our communities need. And this, go to my I collect all these things and I wear them when it's necessary. So I'm going to put this in my office so everybody knows that we are passing the Reinvestment Act for our communities.
Thank you so much, Assemblymember Tapia, for being a champion for local voices. So our community media centers cover the local issues that people care about in our communities: affordable housing, education, quality of life, opportunity. It's aspirational, small business and micro business. So we at BronxNet spotlight the creative community. We also have colleagues all across this state that celebrate the arts and culture of our given community. That's the identity. That's the fabric of our communities. That's what makes up our communities together. And we stand strong together here in this magnificent hall here in the Capitol building, where I want to bring up, uniting upstate and downstate together right here, right now, the chair, the president of the Alliance for Community Media New York chapter, Anthony Arion.
Thank you, Michael Max. You are my hero in all of this. Anyway, I'm the chair of the Alliance for Community Media of New York, and I run a very small station in a small town in New York. But we all do the same thing, and in our logo here, you can see it's urban and rural. So even on the small scale, it does tremendous good for a community to see their local media and to see their laws change by public participation. I fell in love with community media after working in the industry, in the film industry, so many years. So this bill is so important to me because there are community media centers that are in trouble, that are running out of money. And this new funding stream, which most of the United States has already taken advantage of, but New York hasn't, is a key to save our local media, our hyper-local media. It's so important. So the Community Media Reinvestment Act is crucial, not just to help the cities, to help the small towns as well, because all those monies will go back to them, and a nice big chunk just to everyone from where the monies came from. So thank you to all who are supporting this bill. It means so much to all of us, and it'll help hold taxes down for everybody else, because this is money that New York State needs, and we're just keeping up with the change in technology, and everybody should be taxed the same amount, whether you're running cable or you're running digital media like all the other states are taxing. So the time has come to basically get with the times and modernize our laws. So thank you, Michael Max, for all you've done. You're a genius, and you are my hero. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. And that's exactly right. The legislative initiatives that we are talking about here in our state capitol, it's about the 21st century media landscape and where we are now, and providing access to technology, to workforce training, to experiential learning for youth, as well as vital local information, including voter literacy, and connecting our elected officials to communities about the issues that matter. And this is an opportunity also for civic engagement. What we do at public access, educational access, governmental access centers is encourage community engagement, civic engagement. Better understanding the issues is important for us to be involved and for us to effectively participate. The community media centers here are an open work, welcoming to the public. And right here, right now, with us is a champion in the corridors of Albany, but also in City Hall, and you can find her in Harlem as well as in the center of the inner borough. Please welcome from Manhattan Neighborhood Network, Zenaida Mendez.
Hello, everyone. I'm Zenaida Mendez from Manhattan Neighborhood Network, Public Access Television, the largest public access center in the United States. I want to let you know that we have a youth media center. We give voices to the voiceless. We broadcast in 20 languages, so you can do your program in whatever language you feel comfortable to inform the local community. Local media is critical to local democracy. Local media is the oxygen of the local democracy. This is the way to ensure, this bill is the way to ensure that it's properly funded by the very same group who have destroyed local community media by using public rights of way for free, without taxation like everybody else. Therefore, we need to make sure that those voices are heard, that our people are informed locally. You don't see any of the mainstream media giving the same information about what's going on locally, what's going on in each of our community. That's what's going on in the United States, in New York State, in New York City in particular. So I am telling you, we need the local media. We need to continue to inform into the free press. The press is here because we offer the opportunity to all of those who really inform our community. So let's support the community media and the local voices. Thank you.
Thank you, Zenaida. Wherever you are from, wherever you are, we are proud of who we are. And in the Bronx, we're proud of our identity as being a beacon of urban renewal and a symbol of positive transformation around the world. We also have the best carrot cake in the world, and arguably the best cheesecake, but also competing with that is an ally proud to call Brick Arts Media a partner, and Vice President of Community Access at Brick Arts Media, Tony Riddle, is here to share words with you about the importance of protecting community voices. Thank you for being a part of community building through media. Tony.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Michael, for putting so much of this together, everybody that's worked on it, but particularly your leadership in this has been great. I just want to, first of all, let me just thank some of the people who have co-sponsored this bill. We had the original Senate sponsor was Senator Kevin Parker from Brooklyn. We also have Claire, Comrie, Fernandez, Jackson, Meyer, Sanders, and Sepulveda on the Senate side. And on the Assembly side, co-sponsor was Benedetto. Carol, Reyes, Burgos, Septimo, Zacaros, Tapia, Zinnerman, Alvarez, Joyner, Raga, and Forrest. And I'm looking at this list, and I know of at least 3 other people who in Brooklyn have agreed to sign on who have just not gotten around to it today, but we're sure with your visits here today that they will all sign on. I would like to talk about numbers for just a second. It's easy for us to say, like in Brooklyn, we train over 5,000 people a year. We reach over 500,000 homes. We had one report from the set-top boxes that showed that our programs were viewed 3 million minutes per month, just in Brooklyn. These are very big numbers and they're kind of gaudy, but the biggest number is 1, and I just want to talk about 1 for a moment. We have one program which reaches out to do interviews with people who have been in the foster care system but who have sort of aged out because, you know, a lot of times people want to adopt younger children. In this case, in one program I'm thinking of in particular, they were interviewing a young lady who was out of college. She was successful in her own business. She was in her early 20s. She didn't need anything from anybody, but she didn't have a family. She wanted to have some place to call home on Thanksgiving and days like that. And so she was interviewed on the show. And by the end of the show, a family had called in, and it actually worked out that they adopted her. And so when I think about, you know, we want the big numbers, you know, we want 25,000 people watching the show, but that's not what we really do. What we really do is we provide access to change people's lives. And we're very successful at that over the years. And this is one of the reasons why the bill needs to go through. And I do want to point out also that the bill actually helps replenish the money in the city's general funds, which is being lost as people start subscribing to streaming services. They're still in our public right-of-way. They're still making billions of dollars in our cities, and they still have a need to commit resources back to the communities that are making them wealthy. And that's what this bill is about. We hope that by the end of the day, we'll have a lot more names to add to the list of people that are co-sponsors, and we will move forward with this bill, and we're sure that it's going to pass. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Tony. Community media saves lives. And we have folks from upstate and downstate that can tell you these narratives. And we're presenting community stories by, for, and about our communities, by our neighbors. We're putting the technology in the hands of the public, in the hands of our youth, the future media leaders, so that the stories will be documented of our communities and disseminated from wherever we are in the world to the universe. And with us today, representing Schenectady TV, is Zebulon Schmidt.
Oh, I'm very glad to be here. This is Don Hyman. He represents Albany PEG. He works with Schenectady as well. So we're upstate here, and we're proud to support this initiative. Yeah, I just want to kind of, there's nothing I can say that would top the speakers before me, but I would like to just emphasize that having people in the community doing local meetings is just more and more important every day as AI encroaches. Google takes down videos all the time. This is the last step in actual local politics and keeping track on what's going on, because you know, the local people doing the work need to get paid, and we need to exist. So yeah, Don, you want to say anything? Yeah, of course you do.
I'd like to thank Zeb and everybody here. Please give yourself a hand. You are truly valuable. You are the voice of the future today. Whatever you did in your jobs and your homes, you're bringing it here today to let them know that we're not going to let them take our voice away. The people that vote for you are the people in our communities. And they have a voice when they have community media. Am I right or wrong? You want to talk about the Boogie Down Bronx? I live in Albany, but I'm from Brooklyn. A young lady from the Bronx who I worked with many years ago at one of the Parks concerts, her name is Arlene Smith, and I hope she's watching. She was with a group of girls from the Bronx that got a group called the Chantels together. They were the first girl group in the world in 1957 to sell 1 million records. They came out of the Bronx, out of that community. You have all of these beautiful, wonderful people in these communities, like Franco from Brooklyn, who lived in the projects, the Marlboro projects. Ronnie Dyson, who lived in Crown Heights, and Stephanie Mills. And right here in Albany, just this week, I've worked with some kids over at Albany High School who are doing a dance concert. Yeah, when they had on their little hip-hop clothes, they looked like regular street kids. But when they put their costumes on, it was Broadway, Hollywood, and all the above. We cannot let them stop us from going forward. Whatever you're doing, keep on doing it. I woke up this morning knowing that I was blessed because community media is the answer. We don't go buy a TV where you plug it in anymore and you get 3 stations. We are the future now. So give yourself a hand. And Arlene Smith, if you're out there listening, we love you. And everybody in community media, peace and chicken grease.
Thank you so much. Good, positive energy you find on your channels, connecting communities and telling stories and building communities and building awareness about important issues, including domestic violence, is a longtime media maker, a producer in the Bronx, and we're so proud to stand with Kendra Oki of Crossover TV Showcase, a beautiful champion and exemplar for local voices. Would you like to share a few words, Kendra?
Well, first of all, I want to give Michael a round of applause, everybody. One time, please. I was with Michael at the big 50th hip hop at Lehman Stage recently. Michael said, "You want me to hold your camera for?" This is how genuine. Would you like me to hold your camera for you? And I just want to say that I've been on public access. We made it through the pandemic, everybody. Amen. I've become a minister just recently. I am ordained and at BronxNet, and I started. You don't want to know how it started out. I was with Beanie Man and Shaggy. That's with Sting today. Curtis Blow came up to meet my children. We started out a radio show 19 years ago, radio, TV, and magazine in 1 year. And then I came to Bronx and I said, hey, how about I do a live show here? I did a live show. I've been there 15 years doing live TV. We talk about domestic violence. We have OPWDD, the state, come up. We talk about autism. My son is sitting in the back. He's 17 years with autism. He has epilepsy, Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. It does not stop me. I am the voice of the people of the Bronx, and I will not stop. I want to thank BronxNet for accepting every idea I come with to them. And we are for our people. And I'm going to continue to do this. I'm going to continue to lobby. You cannot stop us. You cannot erase us. We are here, and we are not leaving. So just look out. We just had the borough president. We just had Curtis Blow. We do not play around. We love our people, and we love our community. So look out for Crossover TV. We're TV every week. We used to be live before the pandemic. I'm hoping that we will be live soon. And we will not stop. I love you guys, and we love our community. And we all, as a community and a neighboring community worldwide, we will not stop. I like the chicken grease. I will not stop.
Thank you, Kendra. Keep Bronx strong. Thank you for standing up and being an exemplar. And from the north to the east to the west to the south, we have community media makers and leaders right here, including from Staten Island, Jennifer Sammartino.
Hi, Southernmost in the house. Thank you, Michael Max. We're thrilled to be here, shoulder to shoulder with our colleagues and our content creators to call on the Senate and the Assembly to pass these bills that are so absolutely important for us to be able to thrive, especially in an atmosphere where youth and those looking to get into the media industry can cut their teeth. We really see ourselves as a pipeline to the industry, and we're just really happy to be here today with all of you. And just know that you always have a place to call home in Staten Island.
Thank you, Jennifer. Island to island, we're going to jump from island to island right here from Strong Island, North Shore TV. Erica Bradley is standing strong with us.
Surprise, surprise, I didn't know. So I just wanted to say, amongst everything that everybody else is saying, how vital community television stations are to the community. And quickly tell my story. We're located in the Great Neck North Shore area, and connected to us is Northwell Health. And during the pandemic, we were a vital part of getting their word out, including live streaming the first vaccine in the nation and connecting all of their representatives to CNN, Today Show, all the news outlets. When everybody else was home, we were there working. And that's what we all do. We're all here to be a big, vital part of the communities. And we need your help to be able to continue that. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Erica. And joining us for Community Media Advocacy Day in our beautiful capital is a courageous champion for our people across this great state, representing Brooklyn and the 21st Senatorial District. He is the chair of the Committee on Energy and Telecommunications. Please welcome the sponsor of the Community Media Reinvestment Act, Senator Kevin Parker.
Again, I'm State Senator Kevin Parker. I represent the 21st District, as you heard, which is Flatbush and East Flatbush, Midwood, Ditmas Park, Windsor Terrace, Flatlands, Bergen Beach, and Mill Basin. I'm the chairman, again, as you heard, I'm the chairman of the Energy and Telecommunications Committee as well as the Majority Whip. And let me just say good morning and thank all of you for being up here and for coming up to Albany. I tell people all the time that if you come to Albany, you may not get what you want. But if you don't come, you're definitely not getting it, right? And so I'm glad that you've come up to fight for this really important legislation and really a form of access for all of us in our communities. But just want to announce that you're leaving your job and you're going to now full-time walk around and announce me everywhere I go. Such a great announcement. I thought I was starting for the Knicks. Look, we can't get anything done in this world that's so interdependent without communication. And certainly community-based media is really the core of that. And so I'm happy to sponsor this legislation and hope that we'll get it done in the last couple of weeks in order to make sure that we protect it, but also expand access for regular community people to be engaged. And so I've been somebody who has benefited from that access, and I know that community members have benefited from it, and we need to continue to work together to make sure this happens. And so I come today to thank you, but then also ask the governor, ask the speaker, ask our majority leader to bring this bill to the floor, to sign it into law, and to make sure that we continue to protect and expand community-based media. Again, I can't thank you enough for being here. Continue to fight hard because it's really when people hear your voices that makes a difference in our legislative process. Keep up the good work, and I look forward to our work together.
Thank you so much, Senator. Thank you, Senator. Thank you for your support and for your great work and leadership for the people of the state of New York and Brooklyn. We support with community media centers the creative community, and we build community together with filmmakers like our next speaker from Creatives Rebuild New York Artist Residency at BronxNet. Please welcome Kobena DeGraft Johnson.
Thank you, man. This is very surprising. I'm part of the Creative Rebuild New York. As an artist, as a filmmaker, I do really believe in community. And Michael over here has really shown me that with community, a lot can happen. So I'm just here to support the cause. And thank you for everyone for coming.
Thank you, Kobena. We look forward to seeing your series, Stress, about the African experience, the African immigrant experience in New York on BronxNet and beyond, because we're going to share it with other community media centers, upstate and downstate. And a symbol of our unity, working together, this unified force, upstate and downstate, from the north to the east to the south to the west. I'd like to bring up Michael Van Dow from Scopeg Media to share a few words. Would you like to share a few words with those assembled here for Community Media Advocacy Day? He's a mean banjo player as well.
We're a small group in comparison with the Bronx group, obviously. Scopeg Access Incorporated represents or is designated as the access provider for 14 municipalities in Schoharie County, a small county to the west of Albany, and also a couple of municipalities in western Schenectady County. We cover the government meetings for towns and villages and our county board of supervisors. And we also air the Schenectady legislative meetings. We cover our community events and parades and all kinds of we have a fair every summer that we cover, and we are attempting to build our community through access, and I think we're getting there. And this bill is going to help our communities very much, and we hope that it is quickly passed and signed into law this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. What we do at places like BronxNet and community media centers across the state is we train the future media leaders. It's about making sure that we're telling stories accurately and fairly, and there's freedom of expression. And we're standing to lose 33% of local journalism by 2025. We've got to change that, and we are change agents as part of the support for this bill. And right here with us right now, please put your hands together for a journalist and careful researcher, the host of Modern Odyssey on BronxNet, from the Bronx to the universe. Please welcome Dr. Despina Afantuli.
Thank you so much, Michael, and thank you for offering the opportunity to have this program in the Bronx. It's an honor, and congratulations for all of the great work you do on BronxNet, along with your amazing team, which is here today also. So, journalism, as we all know, is the fourth pillar of democracy and plays a critical role in a civil society. Unfortunately, according to the United Nations reports, 85% of the world's population has experienced a decline in press freedom in their country over the last years. Truth is threatened by disinformation and hate speech, seeking to blur the lines between fact and fiction, between science and conspiracy. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said in a video message on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of the World Press Freedom Day. But why is it necessary to support journalists, and specifically local journalists? We need to give voice to local people. We need to cover underreported or untold stories. As New York Times noted back in 2020, local journalism is in crisis and at risk of disappearing, adding that these vital resources are critical to the safety, security, and knowledge of our communities, never more so than in these difficult times. And indeed, during the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, the time that local media were perhaps more than ever necessary to report for the health and the safety of the communities, they were facing an existential crisis due to the limited revenues. We need more professional, free, and independent journalism to secure transparency and equality. Transparency brings responsibility, and truth brings accountability. And when we are free to seek the truth and share it with society, society becomes more just and the world functions better. Freedom of expression is a fundamental right, and freedom of the press is a human right, as without the right information, we cannot make the right decisions. As journalists, it's our human right to report the truth and protect voices that remain silent. Nations need to protect the truth and those who report it. And let's consider the role of the community media in local and hyper-local communities and their contribution to civic engagement and educational role. The importance of offering modern curriculum for teachers in media and online literacy. Public educational governmental media centers serve local communities with local content on issues that matter, offer media opportunities for young people, and create partnerships with social service, cultural, and educational organizations. They support artists and arts organizations in areas where there is no community media center. We need to build a digital economy and digital equity for the New York State and its municipalities. Let's unite our forces for civil and common good. Freedom of the press secures democracy, and freedom of expression shapes our societies and the future of the next generations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Afantuli. Community media is democracy in a digital age. And again, these are where you can get that ultra-local information, these channels that we need to protect, protecting local voices, as well as our creative community. And the host of Latino Filmmakers, the producer of Latino Filmmakers is here, Arilyn Martinez, to share a few words about how community media is important to allowing storytelling and filmmaking and aspirational vision to be manifest for our communities. Is Arilyn Martinez here? Come on up here. Don't be afraid. Don't be bashful. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna be quick. Thank you to Zenaida Mendez that always when I request her help and her support to either LFM TV, which is a show that I have on air on Manhattan Neighborhood Network. I also get her help and the support of her and also her staff with the Latino Film Market Festival that we do every year, also in collaboration with Manhattan Neighborhood Network. Without her and without her team, I wouldn't be able to increase the visibility of the Latinx voices that right now, as you can know, you can see, we don't have a lot of visibility. So it's definitely an opportunity to be here and, to support this bill too. Thank you.
I can't wait to see your show, Arely Martinez. And with us, with decades of public service, is Queens Public Television, QPTV board member, Al Harris. A round of applause. Thank you for your public service.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I started with community access television, first in Brooklyn, where I met some dedicated people. And then my work, my activities brought me out to the borough of Queens, where I found that the power and the strength and the dedication continues, because community media actually means the full service and the dedicated access to technology, tools, and education that helps us to express that voice that we want to bring from all corners of every borough. So I know that that goes throughout the city of New York. And I want to encourage you, just like I've been encouraged. I started as a community producer, and now I'm a board member, just to ensure that that voice continues in a strong way. So I encourage you also to continue your support and to help us to move forward so that everyone has access and benefits just in the same way that I did, wherever they go in this city or in this state. Thank you.
Thank you for standing strong with us, Al. And with us also are media makers from the Bronx like Eduardo Tirado. Thank you for being a part of BronxNet and our open work. Would you like to share a few words, Eduardo? I know you're in the house. We have a microphone for you. Here he is. What a beautiful shirt. That shirt is exquisite. This is the limited edition high performance Shiro One BronxNet Protect Community Voices t-shirt. Eduardo, thank you for being a part of community media and BronxNet.
Thank you, thank you. Wow, I joined BronxNet in 2018, so that what makes 5 years now? Someone with math? I'm not sure. It's not my forte. But it's so crazy to be standing here all those years later. I came to BronxNet to learn one thing, which was how to edit. And I learned field production, studio production. I met so many people, and then out of nowhere, my show was born, Mornings, and I've been there since. And I know, Michael, you stepped away. I've got a pilot your way. It's coming really soon, hopefully. But I just want to thank everyone who's here, because we're here to make an impact, and we're here to make our voices heard. And I just want to say thank you. I was taken off guard, so I don't have many words to say, but thank you, thank you, thank you for everyone who is here. I was short and succinct.
You can stretch here. I know you can talk.
Yeah, well, that is true.
Keep Bronx strong para siempre. Keeping community voices strong. Together we are. And with us is another longtime producer spotlighting the creative community and dance and healing and mental wellness, as well as creativity and fostering sort of inspirational programming through movement. Please welcome BronxNet producer Verona Ford. Where is she? Oh, there she is.
Of course, like Eduardo, put me on the spot, but it's okay. Well, my show is Create Your World TV, and I thank BronxNet for being around so that I can produce my show, which is just basically events that happen around the city. And of course, instead of a commercial break, you get a dance break. So that's what he's talking about. I use my creativity. Okay, next year it will be 10 years. And I came and I had a idea for a dance to do dance and just so that you, the viewers, just get moving, just do a little something. Doesn't matter what it is. And so that's how I came up with the concept of a dance break. So instead of just sitting there watching a program from beginning to end, you get something in between. And you're supposed to get up and dance, but people enjoy just watching me dance. So, but that's okay. It's good. You probably just walk around, and all of a sudden you start doing a plie or a tendu or a arm up over the head, something like that, but not so high. He's good. He's flexible, but you don't have to do it so high. Um, that's pretty much like a tree pose, yoga. Uh, and so I thank BronxNet for being here. So I support this bill to keep our voices heard and that I can keep going around, also go around New York and videotape the events so that you can even see what's going on. My tagline is too sensitive for bad news. So you have enough of that in the world. So I want to show you the good things that people are doing as well as the dance. And you create your world through your words and your actions. And so I thank you very much. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Verona. Thank you so much. And we have team members here from QPTV and a BronxNet crew and others documenting, telling the stories here in the Capitol. A round of applause for all the media makers here in the Capitol with us, making sure that this is documented and disseminated live from Albany to the world. And with us also is a producer of The Jewish View. Please welcome Mark Gronick.
All right, I wasn't prepared to speak, like I guess a whole bunch of other people here weren't prepared to speak. I'm a former board member of the PEG Access Oversight Board in Albany, and I was brought up to be the chair for a short period of time of the board. So I know, I also produce a program called The Jewish View. And I have to tell you, it's a half-hour uninterrupted program. We've done over 450 episodes in a 4-year period. So this has been a great run, but you got to focus on ethnic programming. I think that's what's going to make this sell, is if you have something that differentiates everyone from the mainstream media. And it's also very similar. This is the broadcast version of weekly newspapers. Weekly newspapers are hyper-local, and this has to be, public access TV has to be hyper-local. So I just wanted to make that point, and it's been a pleasure being involved with I've been a pleasure being involved with public access for probably 10 years now, and it's been a real hoot. So keep up the good work, everyone, and keep making things happen and keep the creativity going. That's what we need. We need creativity, and we don't need to be bogged down by rules and regulations of a board. We got to be free. We got to have our freedom to express ourselves the way we want to. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. And what we do, it's economic impact. It's local jobs, local programming, spotlighting local small business, mom and pop shops. And we have a producer here that does just that. Please welcome Miriam Taub. Is she here? I love that shirt.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I just want to say, first and foremost, I'm so happy to be here to support Community Media Day. And my show on BronxNet is called Uptown NYC. And what I do is make sure that the Bronx residents know what's happening in our community. I cover art and culture, so that means I get to cover all the good food in the Bronx, as well as rock climbing, canoeing, yachting, sailing, golfing, you name it, we do it in the Bronx. So please, along with Assemblywoman Latoya Joyner and all the other Senate and Assembly members, thank you so much money. Thank you for so much money. Thank you for supporting this and for the money if you have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you.
Yeah. And social services, connecting constituencies to important public services, as well as sharing valuable, actually vital information. Here with us is Cynthia Timms, another great media maker at BronxNet. Cynthia Timms, would you like to share a few words? Are you in the house? There you go. Here you are. Wow, you look beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so. Thank you. You know, one day I was feeling a certain way. It was a Saturday afternoon. It was raining. It was dark. It was depressing. It was in the middle of the pandemic. I needed to get out of the house because I was just feeling lonely. Some of you know how that feels. I was feeling sad. Some of you know how that feels. I was feeling depressed and anxious. Some of you know how that feels. So I took myself on a Dunkin' Donuts ride. And then I went to the supermarket. And in the line next to me, this guy was just looking at me in the line. And he said, finally, after a few minutes, "Aren't you on TV? Aren't you on TV? BronxNet." And I tell you, something came over me. I wasn't lonely anymore. I wasn't depressed anymore. I wasn't sad anymore because somebody saw me and was making an impact on somebody. See, that's what BronxNet is about. That's what public television, is what community media is about. When I was feeling a certain way and I thought nobody saw me, but somebody did see me. And in that moment, I felt good. He said, "Oh, I look forward to your show every week. Mental Health in You, y'all, is a show, monthly show on BronxNet that talks about mental wellness from a peer perspective." See, what I do, I'm a certified peer specialist during the day. That's someone with a history of mental challenges who's now trained to talk and inspire, hopefully, about what helps me can help you. So when he said that to me, it was like, I am helping somebody. I didn't think I was helping, I am helping. And that's what community access does. We help, we inspire, we make people want to get up in the morning. Mental health in you, because it's so important. I can't even begin to tell you, we're coming out of the pandemic, what it meant economically as well as emotionally. We're still dealing with it, y'all. But I'm so glad to be here. I'm so honored to be able to talk and to share and we just need it because it's vital and it's necessary. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you for your great work in connecting voices. And we have a microphone. We have cameras, lights, camera, action. Anybody else want to share any words about community media and supporting community media? Raise your hand, come on up. Now's the time. If not, we're going to gather around. So on three, we're going to say 1, 2, 3. Protect local voices. Support community media.